Well, hello everybody. How is everybody doing? Now, y'all, it's been a little while since I've been in the garden, so I have to come in and check and see how everybody doing. Now, how did y'all sleep today? Did y'all get y'all rest? I'm hoping that everybody's getting y'all rest. You sure? All right, now, because it's important that we get our rest so we can recharge our minds and our bodies and our soul, y'all. We have to be recharged because it's a lot going on out in that world. It's a lot going on from day to day. Honey, people are here today and gone today. Well, y'all, before we get into what we're getting into, let me tell you what I'm drinking. Tonight, I came home and I'm having a very berry smoothie. Yes, I have blueberry, strawberry, raspberry, just about every kind of berry you can think about is up in here. Along with, I have some almond milk. I have a fourth of a cup of walnuts. I have flaxseed. I have chia seed, and what else? Peaches. A little everything up in here. But this is what I call my berry smoothie. All right. And then I have a drop of, I think it's lemon essential oil. I want to think. Yeah, that's good. Them blueberries is coming on through. Y'all see that? That is, that's good. All right, but y'all, I wanted to come in the garden because I've been working some long hours and getting off late. But I said, tonight I'm going to stop by the garden and see how everybody is doing. Y'all, this month is it's a domestic violence awareness month. So I wanted to pop in and say a few things about that since I am a survivor, y'all. And it's very important that we see the signs and that we be support for those that are going through this type of situation, because it can be a very dark and a very lonely and secluded situation. Y'all, I was in a situationship where I was going through some things, and a lot of times people think that domestic violence is simply physical. But domestic violence is not only physical, it is physical, but not just physical. Domestic violence can also be verbal, psychological, oh yeah, emotional abuse. I've suffered that at the hands, and when I was in a situationship. And what happened, I didn't even know, y'all, that I was really in. I just thought he was tripping, but I didn't realize that I was in a going through domestic violence. I didn't know I was being abused. I didn't really know that that was called abuse until one night. Uh, the authorities had to come to the house. The police, the popo, had to come. They came, and they didn't come. They came, in peace, but it ended up in chaos. But anyway, the lieutenant had to come on. They had to call a lieutenant. So when it escalates and they have to call a lieutenant on the scene, then something's going on. But they called the lieutenant to the scene, and she was about maybe 4 feet tall, and she had so much authority and power in her walk and in her talk. And when it was all said and done, the reports was taken, and we had to move from the scene and go to a different location. Then she handed me these pamphlets, and she said, I want you to get in contact with these people. And I looked at the pamphlet, and it was for a shelter, a battered women's shelter. And I said, but he didn't hit me. I don't understand. She said, domestic violence is not just physical. She said, this is psychological abuse and emotional abuse. And you need to leave, and you need to leave now. And I was like, what? She said, yeah. She said, this is very severe and you need to leave. And I was like, well, where, she said, do you have anywhere you can go? I was like, no, because by then it's like 10:30, quarter to 11 at night. It's dark. I was like, I don't really have nobody, because when you're in a situation like that where you have to flee your home, you don't want to just show up on somebody's doorstep all confused and hurt, and 9 times out of 10 you've been suffering in silence, and you haven't really told anybody to the very extent of what you're really going through and what you're experiencing. So now you've been told to leave your home, and all you have is your vehicle. If some didn't even have that, but all I had was my vehicle and the clothes on my back, and my purse. And she was like, you need to leave, and you need to leave, and here's the number. I need you to call them and go get into the shelter. I was like, in a shelter? Me? What? Yeah, y'all. So I'm saying that to say this. Sometimes people want to ask you, well, what makes you so qualified to talk about this? Or what makes you so qualified to talk about that? Well, what kind of degree do you have? Well, the degree that I have is called, I have a BT degree, been there, and then I have a DT degree, done that. So I've experienced that. So that's what makes me qualified to be able to speak on this topic. As the month goes on, I'll tell you a little bit more and a little bit more about some of the circumstances and situations that I found myself in. But it's you're in a place where you don't really want to share what's going on. You don't really want a lot of people in your business. But I want to give a shout out to this man of God, because he came and he attempted to counsel us. He attempted to speak into our lives. And I tell you, I was a member of that fellowship. And each time I walked through the doors of that fellowship, the Lord always gave him a word, looked like it was tailor-made for me. There was a message that he preached called Satan's Silent Attacks. And I'm telling you, because I never spoke about him, I never told what was going on. So each time I went into the house of God, the Lord had a word for me. And this man of God, I call him a mighty man of God. I call him the Superintendent Michael E. Robinson. He's a praying man. He's a godly man, and he did what he did in the confounds of the scriptures of the word, and in the capacity of a pastor. Because when you're going through that type, you don't need to do it by yourself. You don't need to suffer in silence, because what can happen is it can escalate to a point where you have no voice. He could take away your voice, or she could take away your voice. Because don't get it twisted. Domestic violence is not only talking about men being violent towards women, but you have women that are violent toward men. Today I was looking up and I saw this story, and I wanted to come in and share this story, because if you see something, say something. If you know or you suspect that someone is being abused, try to reach out to them. And if you can't reach out to them, say something. Find out how you can help them, because sometimes they're just too embarrassed. They don't want people to know that they're being physically, verbally abused. If somebody's telling you you're fat, you ugly, you too short, you're not cute, and I don't like the way you look, I don't like and you find yourself shutting down. It's not always the black eyes. It's not always the choking and the slam. It's not always the beating with the fist. Domestic violence is verbal as well. If you're always talking down to him or her, if you're always finding something wrong with him or her, you never can encourage, but you always, oh, why can't you be like this one? And why can't you be like that one? And you should be like this. And Lou, you too short, and you too this. They make you feel like you never enough. They make you feel like you don't measure up. And if you buy into that, it will have you so secluded. It will have you so depressed and so withdrawn. But I want to share this story I read today in the news. And the story is about a guy named Michael Owen. And he was only 27 years old. And he and his wife, I guess they have been going through some things. And y'all, she was pregnant with their second child. And he strangled her to death, because he said he didn't want any more children. He was not going to give her any insurance. And he had moved on with another relationship, and she was in the way. Y'all, may I make this plea? If somebody say they don't want you, believe them. Don't try to make people want you. Don't get pregnant to try to think they're going to stay. Because what happened is he ended up killing her and the baby because he strangled her. And the family had to come and find her like that. So this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I want us to be aware that it's no joke. If he slap you, if he hit you, if he's talking down at you all the time, honey, if you know that something's not right, you know that he ain't right. Because I'm gonna tell you, in my situationship, y'all know what a situationship is, and if you don't, it's a bad marriage, it's a bad relationship, it's a situationship. And in my situationship, I recognized 3 different personalities, and I gave those personalities names. And I'm going to change those names up a little bit because because one of the names was their actual name. So I'm going to change those names up a little bit as I talk about my story and as we go through my process, so that not to expose that person, because it's not about that person. It's about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And as in a short period of time, because abusers are able to conceal themselves, they're able to hide and camouflage themselves, they're able to appear as an angel of light, but really underneath they're raving wolves, underneath they're narcissists, underneath they're very angry and insecure people. But they'll come off as so caring and so loving. They'll come off as if so thoughtful and considerate and kind. But really, every kind thing that they've ever done for you, you're going to pay for it. Every kind word that they may have said to you in public, you're going to pay for it in private, because it's not genuine. I remember when I was in my situationship, he didn't speak to me for 2 whole months. During that whole time, he planned a surprise birthday party, but he wasn't speaking with me. He was sleeping in the living room on the floor, and I'll tell you about that later. He was emotionally withdrawn, sexually withdrawn, physically withdrawn, mentally withdrawn. So there was no communication, no contact, no anything. But he was planning a birthday party. This is a severe narcissist. And so he had everybody else thinking, oh, I'm a great guy. Look at what I'm doing. Bought a nice gift, cake, had people come, and he even had other people help him plan it because it was this big surprise. He hadn't talked to me. So how I got there was he had one of the people that was helping him prepare it and plan it, call me and say, okay, we're going to have a ladies meeting at my house. And so, well, her husband will be here, so bring your husband as well. Okay, I'm not thinking anything. I get there, it's a surprise party. Now get it. He hasn't spoken to me. He's been mean and he's been doing all kind of things to me. But he planned a party for the people to see. And at the party, I had so many mixed emotions. I was like, I don't know, I don't understand. What? Everybody's like, surprise, your husband threw this party for you for your birthday. I'm like, what? But he hasn't talked to me. He's been mean. He's been doing all kind of things, saying all kind of ugly things. And I didn't know how to take it, but I soon learned that that was a narcissistic behavior, because he wanted people to praise him and see him in this light, so that when he finished doing the dirt that he was doing, they would say, well, he was so nice. I don't know what happened. So they would believe the lies that he was telling. Y'all, on the way over there, he didn't speak. On the way back, we didn't talk. I'm still sitting there going, what just happened? I don't understand. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times a narcissist or the abuser will do things in public to make people think that they're this great guy or this great gal, and really they're not. They're just doing it so they can get accolades from the people, but they really don't care about nothing else, but it's just about me. Okay. So I had three names because I had identified three personalities. One of them was the intellect. That one of the personalities would try to talk very intelligent when they were trying to make me see things their way. They would try to appear to talk intelligent, but really it was a lot of gibberish. So that was the intellectual one. Then the other personality we call Cray Cray, because that was the one that would do all these outlandish things. You get up in the middle of the night, they be sitting on the sink and nothing but their BVDs and their bugle board, their their undies, their tighty whities or whatever, and they'll be sitting in the sink on the sink in the kitchen in the middle of the night. So it was just things that was just happening. And then it was the guy. I'll just say the guy because I don't want to call any names. So I just want to encourage you, if you see something, say something. And if you're in an abusive situation, whether it's verbal, psychological, or whether it's physical, I want to encourage you to get out. If you don't have anywhere to go, if you're in the state of Alabama or anyway, go online, look for domestic abuse hotlines. Get out of it. Don't stay in it, y'all. And I know some of y'all probably didn't come in the garden to hear this, but this is domestic violence, domestic violence abuse awareness month. And so I'm going to be talking about this, and I'll probably share some of my experiences with you all because it's serious, y'all. It's serious. This man strangled his wife to death, pregnant, had a 3-year-old daughter. She's pregnant with the next baby because he wanted to move on, because he wanted to go on with his life. He didn't want another baby. He no longer wanted to be married. Y'all, this stuff is serious, and it's very serious, and we must take it serious. So, honey, yes, we want to be loved and we want to be in a relationship, but you don't want to be in a situationship where you lose your life. Because if he's slapping you, if he's saying bad things to you, eventually he may try to put hands on you. And if he's putting hands on you pretty soon, you might wake up in glory. So you don't want that. We don't want it to escalate to that level. And you don't want to be that house. And that house is the house that the police always have to come to. You'll be known as that house. Oh, it's that house. You go on because it's domestic violence, domestic disturbance. I just want to encourage you, man. I want to encourage you, woman, because men, yes. I want to encourage you if you're suffering from domestic violence, seek help. Number one tip I want to say, don't tell your abuser that you're leaving them. Don't tell your abuser you're taking the kids and you're never going to see them again. Stop trying to use things to get them to change their mind because it's just going to make them angry and push them over the edge. I want to encourage you. I'll tell you, how I left, and I'll tell you how it was after the divorce, but I'm going to tell you how it all played out as this month progresses. But I just want to encourage you to do what you have to do to be safe. If you're not safe in that environment, I want to encourage you to separate yourself, remove yourself from that environment, remove your children. If you have friends that are going through or you suspect it, see if you can get them to talk to you and get them to talk to someone because it's not healthy and you don't have to live like that. So I want to encourage you to get out of that. If you can, separate yourself. I'm not telling you to divorce your husband. I'm not saying divorce your wife. Sometimes you just got to get away and let the Lord speak to you to tell you what you need to do. I can't tell you what you need to do, honey, but I will encourage you to be safe. The book says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So it doesn't do anybody any good to sit there and argue and fuss and fight. If you're not safe and you feel that your life is in danger, or if someone is putting their hands on you, I want to encourage you to seek safety. Find safety. Get you and your children to safety. If you have no children in the relationship, get to safety. Call the abuse hotline. In the state of Alabama, the abuse hotline is 1-800-650-6522. That number again is 1-800-650-6522. That is the domestic violence hotline. Get help, honey. Domestic violence in any shape, form, or fashion is not okay. It's not okay. And you're going to survive this. You're going to get through it. So remember what I said. Number 1, never tell the abuser that you're leaving. Number 2, never threaten the abuser with, you'll never see these children again. Don't do that. Just bide your time. If you're not in a violent relationship and they're not physically laying hands on you, and it's an environment where you don't feel threatened, okay? I want to encourage you, number 4, save you some money. Start getting your credit in check. Get yourself together so you can prepare to get out of there. But if it's not a healthy relationship and you are threatened and you're being abused physically, and you could snap at any time. See, we don't want you to have no snap situation, okay? So get to safety, all right? All right, y'all, this is Lady G coming to y'all straight from Lady G's Garden Cafe, doing this month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I just want to hopefully I can reach one person. If I can reach one person to get to safety, to get out of there, run and don't look back, because you will be loved. There's love. You will be loved. Love yourself. Learn to love yourself enough to get out of that. Okay. So I'm going to sing a little bit of this song to you, because a lot of times we feel like we're alone. Okay. We feel like nobody understands, and we feel like I don't want to tell anybody. I've been there. I understand. So I'm just going to sing a little bit of it. I don't own the rights to anything, but I want to sing a little bit of this. If you know it, sing it with me. All right. Y'all know how we do in the garden. Okay. And it's just a little song like, never alone. You don't have to worry, 'cause you're never alone. Never alone. No, he walks beside me every day, and he guides my footsteps everywhere. You don't have to worry, 'cause you're never alone. You don't have to worry, 'cause you're never alone. Never alone. No, he guides my footsteps every day, and he walks beside you in every way. You don't have to worry, 'cause you're never alone. You're never alone. You don't have to worry, 'cause you're never alone. So don't feel like you got to stay in that situation because you're by yourself and you're alone. There's people out there that will help you, but you got to reach out. You got to let people know you're in trouble so people can throw you a lifeline. All right. If a man is in the ocean drowning or in a pool drowning, he's going to say, help, help. He's going to get attention, and somebody will throw him a lifeline. So I want you to throw the holler help, get you a lifeline, get you a way out. Dial that number. Okay. This is Lady G. I love you. I'm concerned about you. This is a month for your exodus, for you to be free. All right, y'all. On my way out the garden, but on our way out the garden, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And if you are watching by way of YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you know anybody that's going through domestic violence, I want you to please share this video with them. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. And let us come on in here and talk about this domestic violence, because this is a serious issue, y'all. So much is going on in these homes that it would shock our minds. All right. So y'all, I want y'all to be be careful. I want y'all to be safe. And if you're in an unsafe environment, I want you to plan your escape. I want you to get out of there. And I want you to get out. You got it on purpose. All right, y'all. Until the next upload. Later.